Okay, these are gonna be the plans for the Specialized Rockhopper Sport 2021 model. Um, so yeah, so this September I would have had the bike for 2 years. 2 years. I know the date. I don't really like to say the date because of course I got the receipt. I got all the receipts for the bike, everything. So, and with the receipts, it's got my email address. It's got my number. It's got all the information on it. So it's not like anyone can really say this bike is theirs because I got everything. And second, to top it off, this bike I never got in London. I got it outside of London. So this bike, I didn't buy it in London. So I know exactly where I got it from and what shop. So so I'm all good with that. So now coming to it now, this is the plans for the bike. So the first plan that I have in my mind was a Garmin 530 computer. I was thinking about putting on the bike because I always like to have two lights. So I was thinking what I was planning to do, I wanted to get a light that clamps here and it comes at the front. So I'm thinking, should I go for one of Night Rider's lights, the one where it clamps on the bars here and it comes at the front? I know Hope's got them, so I'm thinking about putting something here so the light is just in the center, and I have the battery pack that comes here, and I disconnect, I can charge it, and the battery pack will sit underneath between here. The battery pack is here between where the bottle is, and I put the battery pack there. The wire comes up, you plug it in. It comes with a special protective cover so rain not get in. I have a light at the front. So by doing that, I could put like a Garmin 530 or 830. The difference between 530 and 830 computer is that one of them is touchscreen. What's the 830? The 530, you have to use buttons like din, 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 din. You got to know what you're doing. So I prefer touchscreen. So I was thinking about like an 830 with a light in the center, and I said that would be pretty good to go. And with that over here, having like a GoPro 11 or 12 or an Action 3 or Action 4 camera onto the, and push that up onto the bike, putting that on the bike, and then maybe change the pedals to like DMR Volt pedals. The wheels are fine. I'm just gonna get them chewed up. So truing don't cost that much. I think about Horizon wheels, but that's like, nah, you're just wasting money because really and truly, this September I was meant to go for the Horizon wheel set. So I was like, nah, don't be silly, don't be stupid, just leave it. So the only thing I need to also gonna change on this bike is the cassette. So I'm gonna change and put a new cassette on. So basically I'm gonna ride this to the end of the year, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put like when January comes, I'm gonna put like a new X-Sync 2 chamber at the front. I'm gonna put a new ceramics cassette and chain. I'm just gonna strip clean all of this. I can always go to is it Nuke Proof? I think they do the jockey replacements, so I can just go Nuke Proof and I can just put the ones on. I think their one is like steel cartridge bearings, so I can put them on the bike. So January I'm just gonna change the whole thing, just make it brand spanking new. So pretty good. So because the group set is so cheap for this bike, I could actually buy a whole brand new group set, strip off everything, I put on a whole brand new group set. Because when you look at the price of what you can buy a group set for, there's sometimes you probably see that for like 230. Now the cassette itself is going to be like around £100. Now then you got to consider the price of your chain and then the price of your cranks. So realistically, it would be cheaper of buying a whole brand new Shraminix group set, put on a new derailleur, new chain, new cassette, put the whole group set on. I could even change the shifter, derailleur and everything. I put a whole brand new one. But someone may be thinking, why would you do that for? Because you can pick it up for so cheap, it works out cheaper than buy the group set and put the whole thing on, then they're spending like £100 on a rare cassette. The rare cassette is really nearly touching the halfway line. Now imagine how much the cranks is and everything. So it's kind of insane, because buying these components separate is cheaper than buying it as buying these things separate is more expensive than having a group set altogether was cheaper. So I will do something, but really and truly, the main thing is try to get like a Garmin 830. Then I need to put like a Night Rider, or I'm not sure about Lupine. Lupine are really good, but they're really high priced, because the whole idea about this bike is to keep it entry level. So it's not to go over the top. So I'm gonna put like the SRAM level brakes on, the 2-piston ones. They're probably like nearly like £40 each. So I'm gonna put the back one on, I'm gonna put the front one on, get the brakes done. Once I get that done, I'll probably say I would say 530, but it's just the fact of I don't really want to be sitting there doing with the touch button stuff. I just find it easier to have touchscreen. Touchscreens makes life easier. So me putting on the touchscreen on the bike makes everything so much easier to deal with. So let's say, for example, this is the screen. So all I have to do is go instead of doing all that type of difficult stuff. And they got the Night Rider 1200 OLED, but I like the whole idea of the OLED in the light showing you how much power you got. The only problem about those certain Night Rider lights, they're not designed to last long, so those things will just have you just raking up an electric bill for no reason. So if you think about it carefully when you're charging those lights and how long you got use out of it, that's why I always found that Design was always the best, because Design always designed it in a way for you to get the longest amount, especially if you're someone who's always doing those super long rides. You're always good with this. So the one thing about Design, these will last longer than anybody else out there, because really and truly, when it comes to like just being seen on the road, you got that 15 lumen femto mode, and that runs up to like 148 hours. So most of the time, I don't even I charge these lights probably like around like almost like every 3 weeks. So imagine you're charging your front lights like almost every 3 weeks. That's excellent. If I was going with anyone else like Cat Eye and stuff, I don't want to be charging my light every day or every two. The reason why I used to get upset, because I never liked the idea of knowing that I had to keep charging my lights every day or two. The reason why I went for the Viz 300, because where I went, they never had the 450. They only had 300. So when I thought about it carefully, I said, yeah, I'm going to go for this, because with this, it just makes life more easier. Much more easier. So I went for this. I said, yeah, this is the way to go. This is how to do it. So the whole idea is simple. You just have, as I said before, light at the front. We're going to do some research of this recording. Have like a probably like a 530 to like 830, but I do prefer the touchscreen. So I said let's go with 830 at the front, Garmin computer. So I have like computer over here, light here, or what I could do, you got the Garmin like that, the Garmin lock that goes here. but I don't want to ruin this part. I don't want to take this off to put that nasty, that disgusting looking thing, because it's gonna kill how beautiful the bike looks. As you can see, I don't really want to do it. So if you see how beautiful it looks, well, I'm gonna want to replace that for that. So I'm just gonna find something, put here, and do some stuff here, and I'm good to go. So it's all about getting my bike like finalized. To finalize this bike, it's just getting the Garmin computer on the bike, getting the brakes done, and that's it. That's the bike done and dusted. So that's it. So that's my entry build done. So I don't really see me doing anything else. So what I need to do, I need to order myself my new grips. So I'm gonna get them in purple, get like 2 of them, and I'm good to go. It's good to go. So when the day come when I change my tires, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be putting what do you call them? I'm gonna put the Barzos on. So what I'll do, I will put myself on some brand new Barzo tires. So I'm gonna put like the Barzo at the front, and I'm gonna leave the Mezcal at the back. So the Mezcal's more better for a hard pack. That's where its strong suit is. But the front, it literally ticks all the boxes, because the best thing about the Barzo, it is good for dry, better for wet, it's better for mud, it's better in every situation. Where the Mezcal wins it, it's got the strong point for hard pack. So like when I'm cycling down the river, when I'm on them stony gravel paths, the Mezcal is king on that. So however, when it comes to like turning around the corner and stuff, it could be very dangerous if I turn a corner using a Mezcal, because I noticed that when I'm on the bike, and if I turn the bike very fast, what will happen is, if I do something like, if I do this for example, and you do that, you can easily slip out, or if you turn, you can feel, because these tires, don't get me wrong, they got grip and they corner well, but if you're doing that transition like this, you see that? You see, I used to do this on my other bike. So if you do that, you get that transition. So when you're going from forwards to sideways momentum, from sideways momentum to forwards momentum. So this is something that you're doing extremely fast. So if you watch carefully, it's like 1, 2. But because your momentum, it does sound like this. You see the slide? Now, when you're on the bike and you're doing that, right? If you do that on a Mezcal, right, you can have a problem. Or it's because sometimes you may want to. Sometimes when you're going at speed, if you do like a transition, when you're going from forward side back to forward, you can really slip out and have yourself a nasty accident. It almost happened to me. So that's why Barzos are better to have at the front, because Barzos are more better for cornering and everything. But we got the Mezcals was good for hard pack. So that's what I'm gonna do.